From sitting on the market to sold, sometimes all it takes is a paintbrush. Today's guest is showing us how color, finish, and attention to detail can completely transform a home's value, its vibe, and buyer appeal. If you're about to list, renovate, or refresh, this episode is for you. I'm Tracy Mullen, and today I'm joined by Michael Cappa, the go-to painter for top producers across Toronto. Michael's work turns dated homes into market-ready stunners, and his insight into how color influences perception is a game changer for any seller. Michael, Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. So, do you know how passionate I am about paint?
How passionate are you about paint?
I think paint makes a home everything. Well, one, I don't like living in a white house. Mm-hmm. I don't know why everybody's painting their house white, but that's the way it is. Now, that makes sense when you're getting your home ready for sale. Are we still painting the houses entirely white right now, or have we gone to something new?
Yeah, usually we're sticking with the neutral tones, earthy tones, a lot of the Benjamin Moore colors, like the grays.
Right.
You're really great at picking out the Benjamin Moore colors before we paint your listings.
Well, I'm passionate about getting the right color because I don't know how many times I've gone into a house and I've thought people don't even know which way they're facing. Like I'll call them and they'll say, what paint color should I use? I'll be like, well, what way does your kitchen face? And they don't know. Mm-hmm. But when you face north, it's a very dark, dim light. Mm-hmm. And if you have dark kitchen cabinets, it's even worse. So you have to pick the right tone. Can you talk to us a little bit about picking the right tone when you have like facing north or darker cupboards, darker home?
Yeah, absolutely. So to touch on your point a little bit earlier there with whiting things out, if you're trying to make your house look like an IKEA catalog, sure, that's a great way to go. But if you're preparing the house to sell or you want to freshen up on a reasonable budget, ideally you want to pick a color that's going to cover in 2 coats. And a lot of those colors end up being the neutral tones, such as like a mid-tone gray or a light gray or a grayish. Balboa Mist is a very popular color from Benjamin Moore. We do a lot. And the reason I mention all those colors is because they're very universal with the existing finishes in the home. So when you're picking a color for your walls, the first thing you want to, there's a few ways you go about this. So number one, you want to start with the existing finishes in the space. So you want to look at the kitchen cabinets. You want to look at the floor. You want to look at the furniture that's in the room. And you want to play off of those to start with. And then you narrow it down further by saying, okay, do I want to go warm or do I want to go cool? So an example of warm would be an earthy tone, whereas a cool would be like a light gray. So a lot of the times when you're selling, you could go either way and it'll work for the most part. But you want to first start off by basing your color off what's already in the room. And then you want to narrow down, am I going warm or cool? And then to go a step further there, as you're really narrowing in on the color, you get 3 to 5 of your best picks, and you get the little tester pots from Benjamin Moore.
Right.
Well, they all sell them now, Dulux, right. Home Depot, but you get the tester color. And it's very important that you put up samples around the entirety of the space because, to your point, as the natural light comes in, the different artificial light, if it's sunny outside, if it's cloudy, that all impacts how the color shows in different lighting on different walls. Right.
Well, Michael, what I get though is most people don't have an eye. So even when they post this paint all over the home, they still can't make a decision. Why don't they just call us in? Like either their realtor that has a staging and design eye or, the painter. Because even though you're a painter, some painters still don't have an eye. They still don't know what looks good in a space. So how have you developed that eye that you know what will look good in a space?
Definitely through trial and error. That's the first way. And then over the years, as I've worked with amazing agents like yourself, and we've narrowed in on maybe 10 to 20 colors that work really well with neutralizing the space. Like I definitely have my cohort of colors that I pick from. But if we're going for a certain look or a certain design, then just as an example, we painted a whole house in North Whitby earlier this year. And I recommended to the customer to go with Balboa Mist because she was getting new floors.
Right.
And the Balboa Mist went really well with the new floors. And it also worked with the existing furniture and finishes she had. But to take it a step further, she wanted some accent walls throughout. So I said, okay, so if you have an earthy tone throughout, then in terms of color for an accent wall, you can't be too vibrant or too out there. Like you can't be picking Barbie pink or Hot Wheels red. You know, you got to narrow it in towards like a brown or a green or some color that's going to work with the earthy tone throughout.
Right. And it's not hard to see. Now there's so much opportunity online to see what people love. So you can go online on Instagram or house.com or Pinterest or any of these places and you can see like what are the most popular colors. And then you want to make sure it's going to work in your space. But I don't understand why people are not calling in designers if they're not good. Maybe people think that interior designers are really expensive. I think that's where it comes to, but I don't know if they know. Like we have an interior designer that works with us and it's $300 for a consult. Well, that $300 will go a long way when you can pay somebody to come and tell you what color you should paint your house in order to get it ready for sale or just what color you want to live in.
It's totally worth it. It's totally worth it. Similar to you, if people ask me for a color consult, it's basically the same rate. And everything I just talked about with how we narrow in colors, that's what I do. We narrow in on the colors. I go and get the tester pots, put them up around, and we make a choice from there.
Right. Well, first of all, I have lived in a white house once when I'm getting it ready for sale, but I live in one right now because I'm renovating and I'm trying to get it organized and I haven't painted yet. And I hate living in a white house. I need depth. I need color. I need, I just need a space to feel like home. And sometimes when it feels so magazine ready or so hotel ready, it doesn't feel like that's how I want to live. And so it's funny how many people are taking, this white or this neutral color to a whole new realm when they're doing their own renovations or their own homes. And that's what they're living with. So you've got young kids living in a house with white walls. They're not going to stay white that long.
Oh, no, they most certainly will not.
Yeah.
And make sure you paint with a washable paint.
I was just going to ask you, what paint, would you paint with a flat washable for getting it ready for resale or would you use something different?
Yeah, so in the context of a resale, I would definitely recommend a flat or low sheen eggshell finish because the reason you would go that way is because it hides imperfections really well.
Right.
So if you paint with an eggshell sheen or if you're painting a kitchen or a bathroom, sometimes people put semi-gloss on the walls, which is not for me.
No.
But if you're painting to sell, ideally you want to go with something that's a low luster because you're trying to hide the imperfections that are on the walls.
And we're going to have them. We live in houses where drywall nicks are going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have some imperfections for sure. So I recently saw on one of the podcasts that I watch about elevating your space by choosing a color and then choosing different sheens. So your door and your trim might be one sheen, but your walls are another. So let's just say flat washable in the sheen and then the trim is in another sheen. And I thought that was like a really good way of people not being able to choose their colors of really making their home feel more like home.
Yeah, and I think beginning with the end in mind is so powerful and so important. An example I can give to that, one of my repeat customers, she calls me up last year and she says, hey, I just bought a new house in Toronto. I have a couple bedrooms here that I want to color wash. And I'd never heard that term before. So I said, what's color washing? And she says, it's when the whole room is the same color. But to your point, the ceiling is a sheen, the walls are a sheen, and the trim and doors are a sheen.
Right.
So by the time we were done with it, like it was all the same color and you could tell there was just a little bit of a different luster between the different surfaces, but it made the room feel so much bigger.
Right. They actually also call that color drenching.
Color drenching.
Color drenching.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the new thing. The new look is that your ceilings and your walls and everything are going to be a different sheen. So it looks great.
Yeah.
But it's not for everybody.
It's not for everyone. No.
So what do you think when people are getting ready for sale? What do you think the reason is why so many agents or sellers put their house on the market without putting the fresh paint on? Like, how much do you think they're losing by not spending the money to paint their house?
That's a great question. I think it's an opportunity cost. They potentially see it as, maybe I don't have the budget for this. But one thing my dad always says is, don't be penny wise and pound foolish. And that's what that is when you, how would I say this? Beginning with the end in mind, the objective is to get the best return on the sale of the house. And when the house isn't showing well, then that's going to, think about it like this way. If you're going on a hot date and you show up to the hot date with greasy hair, unkempt clothes, maybe you don't smell so good, you ain't getting a second date.
There's no second date. That's right.
No second
That's
date.
right.
So when you're showing the house to prospective buyers, the buyers know within the first 10 seconds to 10 minutes when they've walked in the front door to touring through the house, they'll know if it's for them or not. And if the house is painted and staged, even if it's not what they fully envision, like they might say, I want to renovate this, I want to do that. At least if it's painted and staged, it gets their foot in the door and they can say, all right, I can live with this for a few years. And it's more likely that more prospective buyers will be interested in putting an offer in.
Right. The one thing that's really interesting is that I find when I'm taking my shoes off and showing a house, the first thing I notice is the trim. Mm-hmm. So if the trim is not touched up and painted, you automatically think dirty. Mm-hmm. Like when you see walls that are scuffed and not well taken care of, you think dirt. So that's why painting is so important when it comes to getting a house ready for sale. It will make the difference between selling for a great price and not sitting on the market, the inconvenience of sitting on the market because you haven't taken the time to do that. And maybe another thing that people don't know is like our team, we will pay for people to have their house painted. They will pay us back on closing date. We pay you directly. So you get paid right away. People that don't have the budget and can't see the value of doing that, normally it's a budget for them. So what we try to do is get the house sold quicker, get it sold for more money so that the client has more money in their pocket. And that's why we get so many referrals because this is how we're handling people.
Yeah, it's a really great positive cycle.
Yeah. And how many people ignore the laundry room? Well, I think the laundry room to me is the most important room in the house. Okay. One of the most important.
Why is that?
Well, I don't love doing laundry. So if I do laundry, I want to do it in a nice space.
Okay.
So I like to have fresh paint or I want it to be clean, right? So when the space is freshly painted, it just feels like you want to be there.
Yeah, and to our point earlier, first impressions are everything, right? So when you walk in and you see that it's unpainted and things are dirty, then immediately you'll start making connections to, well, what about this? What about that? What about the plumbing? What about the electrical? And, they'll start looking for problems rather than being open-minded to the opportunity of the house.
Right. Well, it's funny because a lot of the older people, they will spend money on their furnaces, their windows, the roof, all the things that you can't see that don't actually add a ton of value, which is crazy because they're one of our big ticket items, but they don't take the time to put the fresh paint on. I always say finish what you started. So if you've gone and you've renovated all these big ticket items, get your money back. And by showing well and having fresh paint, you're going to get your money back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Resale is one thing that's really important, but not all of the people that are watching today are actually going to be reselling their home and they want to stay and they want to make it beautiful. I always say when I'm getting a house ready for sale, the two most important items to me are flooring and paint, being cohesive. Because you'll go to somebody's house and they'll have like hardwood floors here, and then they'll have a pink carpet there and a white carpet there, and then they'll have a different color laminate in another room. And being more cohesive is what people will pay extra for. And it's the same thing as having fresh paint. People will pay extra for having it look so good. When people want to stay in their home, how do they even get started in knowing which painter to call? How do they know if it's a good quote? Tell us a little bit about your process there.
Yeah, for sure. So when you're looking to hire a painter, whether it's me or someone else in your area, what I would recommend people keep in mind is, does this person have a proven track record? Can you go online and find reviews about them? What are people saying about them online? If you put their name into a Facebook group and say, hey, that Mike guy from Altona Painting, who's worked with him? And I think you should definitely gauge the responses you get. And obviously being bonded and insured are very important, because there's a lot of cowboys out there who say that they're contractors or renovators or painters, but they're not.
It's one of the things homeowners don't think about, like what happens if they fall off a ladder, or what happens if they're painting a vaulted staircase and something happens. So it's one thing that the homeowners are sometimes just looking for the best price and not looking at the overall, value.
The value, yeah. So yeah, kind of going from general to specific there. First, you want to figure out your social proof. Then you want to make sure that they're credible and qualified. And now let's pretend you've called me out. You've done your homework on me. I'm at your house, and we're about to start the quoting process. So first and foremost, before you even get to the nitty gritties of the job and the price, you want to make sure you actually align with this person.
Right.
Whether it's a painter, a plumber, an electrician, whoever you're bringing into your home to work on your home, you actually want to make sure that you feel like you can break bread with this person and you align and can get along. Because construction is construction. There's sometimes it goes swimmingly well, and other times there's hiccups or nuances, and you got to make sure that the person you're working with is an effective communicator and reasonable and solution oriented. And you kind of figure that all out throughout the quoting process as you get to know each other. When people call me out for quotes, my process is very simple. First, I get people to take me around the house and show me what it is they want to have painted. And then I'll ask them a series of questions around like color and timeline and that sort of stuff, and logistics, because sometimes people just want one room, sometimes they want the whole house, and we have to do it sequentially. So we kind of figured that out. And then my second tour around the house is I take all my measurements and I take a closer look at things. And in that time, I give them my hardcover portfolio to look through so that they can see my proof of concept. My portfolio, it's curated. It's a 400-page book of all my past projects, and it's curated by service so people can see all my interior, my exterior, my spray painting, everything.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Leave them with something to look at while you're gone, checking out how their house shows.
Yeah, and you know what? We live in the digital age, but people still love to touch and feel and engage and interact with things. So when I'm doing that second tour of making all my notes and measurements, it gives them something to get to know me a little bit better through. And then kind of wrapping that all up, what I do is I go to my truck, I write up the quote, and in a very detailed manner, walk them through it and say like, okay, this is what we're going to do for all the prepping. This is how we're going to set up the rooms. If we have to do any priming, like I know on some of your listings, we have like nicotine or oil surfaces we got to prime. So I'll walk them through that. And then the painting, and then the final price and how long it's going to take us.
Right.
That's pretty much my quoting process.
Makes sense. Let's talk about my next love, wallpaper.
Okay.
Can you and do you install wallpaper?
We do, yes.
Great. Yeah. I know they say wallpaper is making a comeback, and it has been for years. People are afraid of wallpaper, but I would say, what if you just did your powder room? Like transform that powder room into something that you wouldn't see somewhere else, because online right now, everything looks the same. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're trying to do. Like, we live in a house. We should have houses that look like us and feel like us and speak to whether you entertain a lot or you have grandchildren like I do, you want to have a house that speaks to, having people over, and how do you entertain and who do you want to come over, right? So when you're getting ready to wallpaper somebody's house, what's the biggest concern that people are coming up with? Is it cost? Is it they don't know how to do it? They don't know what room. They don't know whether to do an accent wall. Like, what's their biggest concern?
All of the above.
Oh, okay.
All of the above, yeah. Wallpapering is a very technical skill. it's even more technical than spray painting. And I would say it's probably one of the most technical skills you can do as a decorator. So right off the bat, you're paying for those years of expertise. Then after that, when I do wallpapering for people, I kind of have to educate them and walk them through the process, because it's not as simple as, putting the glue on the paper and applying and being done with it. It's a very meticulous, detail-oriented process, mainly because the wall underneath has to be in reasonably decent condition, because if there's lumps and bumps, then those will protrude through the paper, and you don't want to see that. You want the wall to look smooth and seamless underneath the paper.
So sometimes there's the prep beforehand, and then do you need to prime the wall as well before you put, yeah.
Precisely, yeah. So any wall prep, and then you put on the wallpaper primer, because in the future, if you want to take it off, if you put on the right primer ahead of time, then it's a lot easier to remove it.
Right. Well, I know I wallpapered a room once, and the owner that took over after me said that they couldn't get it off, and I had said to the person that was installing the wallpaper, make sure you prep this wall so that it's easy to come off. Well, apparently it was not.
Oh,
So, no. So they painted over top of it, which is fine. That works. That's what they ended up doing to make a difference there.
Right. So yeah, once you get the wallpaper primer up, the other reason you do that too is because if it's a paste to wall, which means you put the glue on the wall like paint, like you literally brush and roll the glue onto the wall. So that's what paste to wallpaper is. So when you're doing that kind of wallpaper, then when you prime it beforehand, it gives you more working time with the paper. Because you only have once you, and then the next step there is once you cut all the paper to size and you start applying it, you only have so much time to work with it.
Right.
And I think another element that people don't think about that I learned as I got into wallpapering was if you have like for example, if you live in a condo and you see the hallways and it's just an endless pattern, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. But if you want like an accent wall, or you want to do a whole room with a specific pattern that repeats, a lot of people don't take into account the runoff. Because
they just order the wallpaper based on what they think that needs, but it doesn't, on the back of the wallpaper, it tells you what what you need. Yeah.
Yeah. Just as an example, to use round numbers, if you have a accent wall that's 100 square feet, you want to order at least 120 square feet worth of paper, because every time you go to put a new strip up, you have to make sure that the pattern lines up.
Right.
So on every single strip across the entirety of the wall, you're going to have waste at the top and bottom of each strip.
Right. Because it'll tell you on the back of the wallpaper, it's like 10 inches or 5 inches is your pattern repeat.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And then if you have windows or door frames, that's even more wastage. So not only, I encourage people to wallpaper because it's beautiful and I love it as well. But I think people just need to know what they're getting into, because it's a technical skill. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and you use a lot of material.
Right. If you're staying, wallpaper, that's for sure. And ceilings now too. I love when you have a room that's just the ceiling done in wallpaper.
Oh, okay. I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I like that as well. There's a lot of realtors and a lot of sellers that actually don't offer painting services or don't offer advice to their clients about staging or painting. What do you say to that?
Well, if you're in the agent position, it comes back to what standard do you want to hold with your clients, right? Do you want to have a superb standard where people remember you and they use you repeatedly for all their buying and selling, and then they refer you out to all their friends and family? Or do you want to just take the cheap way out and not offer that level of value and service? And now maybe you've tried to list the house as is, but it's not gaining any traction. It's, there's a lot of things. It might not gain traction if it's not staged properly or painted. You might not get the interest. You might not get the sale price that you want. And ultimately, that relationship that you have with your client, it could be distressed or it could be tarnished, because they might feel like, hey, so-and-so didn't get me the price I was looking for, or so-and-so didn't help me the way they could have. It would just, the exact same thing would be like if I went into someone's house to paint and they said, should I do this or should I not do this? And I would say, well, you probably should, because it'll look better and it'll be better for resale.
Right. Well, I've been in real estate for 25 years next year. And for about 23 years, I've been offering complimentary staging. I mean, it's included in their fee for service. And I know it makes a difference. I know our houses sell faster and for more money. And for about 15 years, I've probably been offering about a $15,000 loan value to clients. I don't actually give the clients the money. I'll pay for you. I'll pay for new carpet. I'll pay for the clean. I'll pay for all of those things that are going to make a difference in your bottom line. I also think, based on the market that we've been in the past, is that a lot of realtors weren't being responsible in explaining to clients about what work they should or could be doing. Because the market was moving so fast and the market just kept going up. Yeah, you could renovate a kitchen and in 6 weeks or 8 weeks from now, make that money back. But that's not realistic. So if you're selling, I don't believe in renovating kitchens if you're going to sell, because that's 6 to 8 weeks difference out there. So what happens is 8 weeks from now, if the market comes down, even say 5% on $1 million, that's $50,000. Your market just came down, and you probably spent $25,000 on your kitchen. Well, you didn't win. So I think at the end of the day, you have to be reasonable in making the renovations that are going to make sense for the time that we're in. So right now we are still advising people paint and flooring. I've always said that's the two most important things that you can do in renovating your house and getting it ready for sale. But it's not for everybody. There's people that are older that don't want to be inconvenienced, or they don't want the hassle of having somebody in their home. But most of the times when I'm introducing somebody, it's because I have a great personal relationship with, Michael, you and I have been working together probably
3 years now.
3? Okay.
Yeah.
Feels a lot longer. But we've been working for 3 years, and you're going in to see my clients. And when they meet you, they're like, I can see how he's an extension of who you are as a person. And then you go in, and then somebody else from BNI, like Ed, goes in and he helps them renovate their property, and they can see the value of working together with a team. Do you think there's value in working together as teams?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I'm glad I was going to take us there, but you beat me to it.
Good.
Yeah. Having a power team is paramount, right? Like you said, everyone that's on your power team, we're an extension of your reputation. So back to that concept of holding a high standard and that level of service, your cleaner, your painter, your contractor, everyone's on the same team. We're all there to help the client get their house sold faster and for more. And of course, I'm there to help make you look good.
Yeah. Well, it makes a difference when you can get along with my clients, and when you have good communication with my clients, and when you say what you're going to do and you do it, you make yourself look good, and you make, in turn, me know that I've chosen the right person for the job. Because my clients can count on you, and it makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think the way to analogize it for people to understand is, for example, with my painting business, if I hired the right painters, then, we're tickety-boo, we're golden. But if I have maybe not so great painters, which, I mean, every contractor's been there in the past where maybe their team wasn't as optimal as they would have liked it, then things don't always go according to plan. And if you, as the agent who's coordinating all the sub trades and the puzzle pieces, if whoever it could be doesn't do a good job or keep their word or finish in the timeline, then, listing the house even just a few days late, the market's so volatile and versatile. Like you could be at risk of losing a lot of money if the market moves that much in that short amount of time.
It could be thousands of dollars, and we've seen that happen in the past. So that's why we need to know that. I think people don't want to hire teams of people, whether it's teams of cleaners or teams of painters, because they think they're paying more, but they are getting it done in a faster timeline, which is about them and their bottom line, because I can't see past that. Like, I can't see 2 months out in the market. I can only see what happened yesterday. So when I'm pricing a home, and I'm suggesting work, I've got to know that I think the trajectory is going in an upward direction. And I don't always have that crystal ball, especially in the market that we've been in. You know, I saw a video today where they had like 2022, there was like a deck of people standing on a boat deck all partying. Woo, this is what 2022 looks like. And then all of a sudden 2025, there's a freaking tornado coming along. And, you know, it's hard to see through the muck when there's all of this troubles with the economy. And, you know, people are having a cash flow crunch right now. So painting might not be uppermost on their mind, or they might not see how spending more money is actually going to make them money. So I think that's our job, and you showing them your book and what you've done, your past performance, and how good these houses look. And then me going in and saying, you know, how much quicker houses sell. It's like, it's proven. We've got the experience to back that up. And I think that's where it's critical for us to be able to communicate that with the clients, that, you know, it is going to look better than it looks right now, you know.
Ultimately, I think it comes down to abundance mindset. Because if you have an abundant mindset that things are going to work out and we're going to follow the process, whether it's an up market or a down market, buyer's market, seller's market, there's always movement.
Right.
And if, let's say it's a buyer's market, then there's still houses selling, and you could be part of that smaller cohort of houses that are still selling above asking or are still getting competitive offers. It might not be as common as it was during a seller's market, but these things still happen, and the objective is to set yourself up for success. And if you're not willing to set yourself up for success, then you might not get the results you want.
Exactly. So we're going to do a little rapid fire. Most underrated room to refresh before selling?
Laundry room.
Oh, that was going to be my answer too. Go-to neutral paint color that always works?
Balboa Mist, OC27.
Benjamin Moore.
Benjamin Moore.
What is your favorite paint, by the way, your paint brand to put on the wall?
I know if my paint reps are watching this, they're going to light me up. If I had to narrow in on one, I would say Dulux.
You can give us a couple if you want. If you'd say Dulux, and then what next? What would be your go-to after that?
Benjamin Moore.
Yeah. See, I'm a Benjamin Moore girl. I just go to Benjamin Moore because I love how it goes on. But I'm not a Dulux girl, but maybe I'll try that one day in the future when I'm painting.
There you go.
The boldest color you've ever been asked to paint?
Pink.
Pink.
Like Barbie pink.
Barbie pink. Yeah. Well, I have a red kitchen. People are like, what? I do. It's called Boxcar Red by Benjamin Moore, and it's my island, and it's beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Biggest mistake homeowners make with DIY paint jobs?
Not hiring a professional painter to begin with.
Isn't that the truth? They don't realize, you know, those spots on your ceiling that are not perfection, they don't realize that actually causes them to lose money because people have to repaint it, even though they just put fresh paint on the wall.
Yeah, the wavy cut lines.
Yeah. How do you get that perfect seam line, just out of the curiosity?
Years of practice, my lady.
Oh, dang it. Okay. He's not giving away his secret today.
As SpongeBob would say, technique.
Favorite finish, matte, satin, eggshell, or gloss?
Low sheen eggshell.
Right. Low sheen eggshell.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Dream home you'd love to paint?
Muskoka Cottage, lakefront.
Oh.
Yeah.
And get to stay there for free while you're painting,
Yeah,
I'm sure. Okay.
absolutely.
If you weren't a painter, what would you be doing?
I would be pursuing a music career.
In what?
I tell people I'm a closeted professional drummer.
Oh, nice. Are you in a band?
Not at the moment.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in case anybody's looking for a drummer today, there you go. You got to back up. Michael, can you share with us your phone number and your link on social media so that people can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm best reached at my cell is 647-370-7239. My social is at Altona Painting. If you want to follow my personal page where I post some of my drum videos, it's at _Michael Cappa.
I love it.
You'll find an assortment of Metallica, U2, Led Zeppelin, The Beaches.
Awesome. Yeah, this is great. And just so I know, do you only paint in Durham region? Because you live in kind of the border of Durham and Scarborough. So do you go to Toronto?
Yeah. So our work area, I'm actually based out of Ajax now. And we go anywhere that's an hour from Ajax. So
Perfect.
I'll go to Peterborough, I'll go downtown, I'll go Vaughan Richmond Hill, I'll go Stouffville. Yeah, we got a big work area.
Stouffville is a place too, so good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Michael, for joining us today. That was great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Michael, thank you for sharing your expertise, your process, and your passion with us. If you're getting ready to list, renovate, or refresh, don't skip the paint. Connect with Michael Cappa for professional finishes and trusted trades. All of Michael's info is in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.